Welcome to Hot Takes with Realtors. Today with me I have Mitcheal Valle.
Perfect.
He is my broker in charge, an Army vet, and a grandfather. And so today he's going to be doing the 10 hot wings while answering some real estate and some personal questions.
Oh, no.
So let's see if he can keep his cool when things get hot. All right, are you ready?
I'll do my best.
Yeah,
Let's do this. It's
all right,
gonna be
so
fun.
we're going to start right here and work our way over. Yep.
Okay. What is this?
You're going from right there and working your way over. So the first one is Hot Ones, the classic garlic Fresno hot sauce, and it's 1700 Scovilles. So you're starting pretty comfortable and low.
This one?
Mm-hmm. So starting there and working our way over. So how would you say you've managed to close 380 transactions in 13 years?
You know, numbers I don't even know. 28 years of military service. And just taking care of people. That's it. There's no special magic. It's just getting the word out and just talking, and everywhere I go, just listening to people. But it's mostly caring about the people that are out there. So,
Well, it's working. Yeah, it's working. 380 transactions,
I have
so
no idea.
you're doing something right.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you found that, because I have no idea. Somebody asked me that this weekend at the conferences. How long you been in the business? How many transactions? I don't know, because I don't do it for that. you
Yeah.
know, So, yeah.
Work it as you go.
It's not duplicatable. That's the hard part. Just when you own the company, you're trying to help other agents do 380 transactions.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you duplicate luck? There's no luck in it at all. If you know your script, you know what you're doing, and you're confident about it, and it's you, it's not a sales pitch. So when you hear people, you hear those little windows of opportunity that are flying open. And that's me. This is not a job. It's not a job. It's just fun. I have it, and the sales are a byproduct of success. Successfully listening to people. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. Are
I'm
you
not
ready?
very good and philosophical, so.
You're good. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Which one is this?
That's the one right there, and that is Steel City Sauce Co. J. Jagger hot sauce, and it's 3,600.
All right. This one's juicy.
So, with having 380 closings, you've received 143 ratings, leaving you with an overall rating of 5 stars. So, how would you say you've accomplished that level of customer satisfaction?
Well, there's a lot of stuff you said there that, because that's less than half people that I got surveys from. And that's not me taking care of myself. So I can capture all those people, because all those people are great individuals. It's really taking care of them. And if you're really taking care of them, say your question again.
So you've had 143 ratings, leaving you with an overall rating of 5 stars. So that means a large majority of those have left you 5 stars. So the question is, how would you say you've accomplished that level of customer satisfaction? So how do you keep your customers that happy, where not only are they happy, but they're taking that and giving you those reviews?
These are touchy-feely questions. It's just being genuine. Just, if you tell the truth all the time and you treat them like they're your own, and you ask them for the survey, they're going to tell you the truth. You know, some of them give words. I love words when they write back in words. Some of them do numbers. The numbers freak me out because I don't know what that means. Because 1 out of 10, they give you a 9. It's like, okay, what, and then you talk to them like, oh, I never give a 10. So I was like, So I was like, well, don't do the number one. I need one in writing. But if that's what it says, it's just, I'm real. That's all I can say is just be you. If I'm talking to any realtors that are out there, just be you. Don't be a salesman. It'll happen.
All right. Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
We're on number 3.
I'm good. I'm almost 33% through this thing.
So, what market factor allowed for you to sell 185 listings in the last 2 years?
What do you mean by market factor?
So, considering that you've been in for 13, and 185 is less than half of what you've done in the 13 years, but that's still a lot to have done just in the last 2. So, what in the last 2 years has made it such a high number of closings?
Oh.
So I would assume something with the market.
Oh.
So,
Well, goodness. The thing about this business is, I think if you study business, you'll see most businesses either get ground or start failing in that 3rd year. Somehow people manage their budget, or they know that 3 to 5 years most companies will fail or succeed. Well, in that 3 years, being with the beginning of the career, people buying and buying and buying, and then with what the world has offered us this last 2.5 years with COVID, all those people saw an opportunity to cash in. So the circumstances and change in the market is what's helped really the last 2 years. It's nothing that I've done. It's just the past clients that I had sold to, by maintaining some relationships, some continuity there and keeping up with them, they called back and wanted to sell their properties. Even though you don't want them to, you try to get them to encourage them to rent, but how do you walk away from $75,000, $120,000 worth of 2-3 year investment? So the world gave that to us. So I didn't do anything there. It's just I happened to be in at the right time, collected a database of people, successful transactions, who called me when it was time to sell. Being in here at the right time, right place, right time.
okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah. You ready?
Okay. So this is hot or L?
Hotter than L. Yeah. So this is hotter than L ghost sauce. It's 39,000 Scovilles.
The wings are actually pretty good. That one's got a good flavor to it compared to the other ones.
So how has being a grandfather changed you the most?
Oh. As a person or as a realtor or what? Person?
In general, however it's changed you. Has it affected how you work being a grandfather?
Oh yeah, because you work your whole life as a growing up. You want to get married and have a kid and have a wife and have a kid and then have something to pass on. And then you start figuring out later that you spent your whole life working. I'm going to spend much time with your kids, and then they have grandkids. And when I retired, my grandson was like, he was my salvation when I retired. Not that I hated to leave the military, but it was something that I loved. And my son was deployed at the time, so that really helped me out a lot to make that transition. So the mistakes I made as a parent, I get to get away with murder with my grandsons. So got 2 already and 1 on the way. So I think it's made me focus more on really, and which makes me help focus down to you guys about stopping, breathing, taking time to enjoy the kids you have. And when I've got realtors who actually take that time and will put work second and then put their kids first for a reason and not an excuse, it makes me very happy. So as a grandparent, it's made me change to see that and learn from that and be better. So forever.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
I like that one. That last one was pretty good.
Let's see if you hold on to that.
Yeah. The trick is when this is all done, is come back and clean all the bones off, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can eat the whole wing now if you want. I just gotta ask questions, so I gotta get it down quick. So, how do you go from a combat medic with a minor in psychology and nursing to becoming a real estate agent? And then, yeah.
How do I come from being a medic to being a realtor? Is that the question?
Yeah, how did you transition? What made you go from being a combat medic with a minor in psychology and nursing to switching over to being a real estate agent?
It was a favor.
Okay.
My daughter was in college. She had 2 years left.
Watch your eyes.
That's why I use the back of my hand. She had 2 years. Thank you. She had 2 years left in college, so I needed to do something. I'd gotten out of the military just before she had graduated school. So she asked me, Dad, please stay here until I graduate. And then in her next to last year, she got engaged. So then it was like 2 years turned into 3 years. So I was going to have to be here anyway. So I was pursuing going to school to get my nurse practitioner and finish that up. And I had seen the former owner of this company. He looked up to him real estate wise and all that, and he came over and said, hey, I need your help. I've got some people that just lost their son, their only kid, and you've got a degree in psychology, and I need you to go to real estate school and help me with this client. So he was helping a buddy out. So I figured, well, what else can I do? I saw the smoke and mirrors about real estate and get rich overnight. And so it was about what we love to do in the military anyways, helping those who can't succeed, get nobody on the battlefield.
Well, it's a good transition because next question is, how have those skills in education helped you with being a realtor?
What I learned in this business, and I always tell people, especially when I see that I'm trying to recruit, 2 things that are very successful in this business. One are women husband teams, and nurses, prior nurses. And it's because they know how to listen and not always run their mouth. So that made it really easy to go from being a medic, learning to listen to the patient, watch what's going on, and then making that transition into this was just learning to shut your mouth and listen. And that's what I see a lot of new realtors. They think they need to be the expert in everything, when it's like, no, shut up. Your buyer or seller is going to tell you what they want or what they need. You just need to know the right questions to ask them. And the rest comes naturally then. Just go with it. And if you don't know the answer, don't be afraid to say, I don't know the answer, and then get back to them quickly. Did that answer that question?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you ready to move on? How you doing? Good?
I'm just drinking because the throat's dry. You dabbied this one up really good.
I did them all.
Yeah, it's like, where do you burn from? Oh man, this is a messy one.
Mm-hmm. How would you compare being a sergeant major to being a broker in charge?
That one there snuck up. It went in really soft and sweet. Got some really good flavor to it. That will go with some good steak and bourbon. That's good. That's good. How do I equate being a sergeant major and being a...
Yeah, how do you compare being a sergeant major to being a broker in charge?
Oh, lead by example. Accountability. Ooh. It's the same responsibility, really, because you're not a soldier, you're not one of my troops, but you are one of my responsibility. You're my form. That's coming back around. That's coming in there good. I started to feel a little sweat on my brow. But yeah, comparing wise, I mean, it's a little bit different. I would see a broker in charge as more like being honestly, like a first sergeant, because if you're an active and involved broker, a true broker in charge, you're as dirty as they are and you're doing what they do. And that's more like a first sergeant level. But as a sergeant major level, one second, it's in there now. Yeah, it's just right there. Yeah. So as a CSM, I would equate them to either like a silent owner, kind of, because really a lot of people don't see the sergeant major getting down and dirty, although he will, and he knows how, so he can ask the questions. So in that level, you would come around and your job is really to encourage and assess as a CSM, command sergeant major. And as a broker in charge, a good one, you need to be involved. And so that's why I say it needs to be a first sergeant. So a little bit of difference, but yeah.
So which one would you say is more challenging?
The CSM or a broker in charge? Well, it's at a whole different level. To me, they both are equal, because at the end of the day, yeah, as a realtor in the civilian world, you're not dealing with bullets being thrown at you. I got a clean napkin. Thank you. You're not having bullets thrown at you, but you have people's mouths that need to be fed. You know, moms and dads that got kids, and there are those few like yourself that are 100% committed. If I don't do a deal, I don't eat. And as a CSM, if I don't train them well in a force and make sure those first sergeants doing what they're supposed to do, people are going to die. And so that's a lot of the similarities there. Is being a broker in charge, you really need to be involved, or first sergeant, whatever you want to call it, but a broker in charge. And the CSM, lives in battle CSM, foods to feed in the real estate world. So yeah, it's real. And if you don't feel that way, then you would need to get somebody else in that position. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah. Volcanic peppers. I like turning them around. This way I know I made it over the hump.
As someone who is currently building a custom home, what advice would you give to anyone who's considering it?
Trust no one.
That's my motto.
Insurance policies. Yeah, golly. Wow, man. Personal experience. There's not enough tape nor time to talk about my personal experience with this. And you would think that 28 years of military and 12 years of real estate, I'd be smarter. And that's where trust will get you in trouble every time. So you need to hire the right people. You need to be out there. If you're going to be a real estate agent working with new construction, it's easy to be on the buy side, because a lot of times what the listing agents on the other side will do is say, look, I got your client, trust me, I'll take care of them. And then you're stuck with whatever happens. And I call those cash and carry agents. You know, hey, I got this buyer, I'm going to bring it to you and dump it off on them. Because there's a lot of meetings and a lot of stuff going on. And we don't do a lot of new construction if you're not a new construction agent. So there's a lot of room for error. My encouragement is, one, from being a realtor, the experience I had working with new construction and new construction agents, and then now having gone through it myself, is don't lose contact with your client. Drive your butt out there and learn, because you may not yourself have had that experience of buying a new construction home, but the learning process that you'll go through helping your clients to ensure that they are taken care of, that's invaluable, because you're relying your whole reputation on that listing agent, the builder's agent. Everybody that's in the rabbit hole all sees the same mistake every day. And if you're not engaged on the outside coming in, protecting your client to see like right now, we've got a situation where they changed the bathtub. You know, I've got 2 handicapped buyers, and they need a walk-in shower, and they changed the shower. We had to fight for it, and thank God it was in writing. But relying on that the seller's agent, my handicapped clients would be doing a step-in combined tub. And thank God, going out there checking the property, we find out that they put the correct tub, in the wrong house. So now they're going out and having to tear out a tub in another house. So,
yeah.
But without doing that follow-up and dealing with new construction, you wouldn't know that if you didn't get involved with your client as a buyer's agent with new construction. So learn from those mistakes. So when you do your own, like I did, don't trust and then inspect. Remember the military, they had that term, what gets checked gets checked. Mm. Hey, did you check your PMCSs of your soldiers in the motor pool? Mm. You didn't? Oh, well. Did you ever have your leadership ask if you checked on something and you asked Smith, hey Smith, did you do that? And they said, yeah. And he said, yeah. Well, no, we're talking about you being supervising somebody else. Did you ever supervise somebody and your leader asked you, hey, did you check on, did it get done? And you said, yeah, it got done. And the only way you knew it really got done is because you asked Smith, did it get done?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And you said, yeah. And then he goes, well, I just came from there and it's not done. So you didn't check it. So same thing in new construction. And it's like, you just got to check it. You got to check. I hope I answered your question. That's why I told you, be careful with me in here because I'll get on a tangent, man, because I love to preach.
Well, the question was, what advice would you give to anybody considering building a custom home?
Oh, cool. Slow is smooth and smooth is quick. That's an easy one. So, hey, you got 2 questions. Know what you want, and really, I mean, if you really don't want to spend more money than you need to, is go slow. Figure out what you want, game it, measure it, get some paper tape, put it on the ground, pull up different things. Like an example would be like if we were going to add all these pictures that you're bringing from your old home and put them into your new home, you think you're going to put them here, and before you go put holes in the wall, put the picture on the floor. Let it sit there for a few days and see it as you're walking by it and figure out that picture doesn't belong there. And the same, like we thought we wanted this color scheme, you know, take your time and just go slow and then just shop around. Don't be afraid to shop. You got the rest of your life to finish that house or until your loan says it's got to be done. But that's got to be your passion too. If you don't care what is going on in new construction, well then just throw mud on the wall and see what sticks. But if you really care about what you're doing, slow is smooth and smooth is quick. You get that analogy?
Slow is smooth and smooth is quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes from Iraq. A lot of my analogies come from military experiences. And then in Iraq, what we learned there is that we used to rush through the IED, and you figure most convoys are 5 vehicles, and the command vehicle is usually the 3rd one. So if you're flying through and the IED trips with the 1st one, the 2nd one, the signal's being sent, and by the time it blows out the 3rd and may get the 4th vehicle, and now your convoy is separated. So we learn going fast and making fast decisions, and that's in real estate. You don't want to make fast decisions. Breathe. Think about what the client's asking you. Think about what the other agent's telling you when you're calling. Hey, you have any offers? You have any of this? You know, be ready for that. And then with that convoy being separated, it's slowing you down to get to the objective where you need to be. Now you got all these reaction drills that's got to happen. You're bringing more people to the kill zone. And then what should have taken 2 hours to do now is a whole day, and probably the mission didn't happen. To where if we go slow, if we put out our feelers and got our spider senses going on, then we can see the tripwires. We can see the things that are going to cause us problems in real estate. You know, was clouds on the title, whatever we might see, or this brown spot on the ceiling. Those little IEDs that we see for our client. So once we see it, then we just radio, hey, I need a home inspector, whatever. They come out and check and find out, get it under control, get that IED situated. That way it's taken care of. Nobody blows up. The bad guys don't hear the boom. Nobody comes in. We get the IED taken care of. The convoy gets through. Nobody dies. You know, so slow, smooth. Get slow to the objective. It's a smooth movement. Get to the objective. Accomplish the mission. Sell the house. So that's kind of my slow, smooth, quick analogy.
You ready?
Yeah. Have I talked enough? Yeah, let's do this.
This is the.
I'm not scared. It's just gonna be.
This is you going slow and smooth to get over to this one.
It's just nasty. It's just nasty.
Did you take a good bite of this one?
I took half the wing. Had all the sauce on it. It's just nasty. It does have some flavor to it. Just give it a minute. It's rolling around, coming across the roof of your mouth. I feel the sweat now. But it's good. It's good.
Should I have some butter pecan ice cream brought out?
No,
Are you
absolutely not.
sure?
No, I'm good. I'm good right now.
Because I got some for you. It is your favorite, right?
Check it out. You're the bomb. We have
Well, that's just an insult.
The bomb for the bomb. That's my favorite ice cream too.
I know.
Look at you doing your homework.
I try.
And it just keeps picking up momentum.
You ready to pile onto it?
That or ask a question. You never ask a question. Yeah.
That was my question.
Do I want
You're good on this one.
Yeah.
Easy one.
Man. Let's go.
Alright.
This one is Mono Loco.
So, this one is 665,000 Scovilles.
It actually has a little bit of flavor to it. Ooh, it's got a nice little sting. Goodness.
So, as someone transitioning from suburb living to farm living, how would you compare the market desirability?
I don't understand the question.
So obviously they're two completely different livelihoods. I would assume also two very different markets.
Wow.
So would you compare the market for the suburbs versus the market for, farm life? Like, have you noticed that, these in the the current market, that one is more desirable than the other? Are you okay?
I think this one is still picking up momentum. This one here is just, So what's more desirable? We call that the unicorn. Everybody wants 10 acres of land 5 minutes from the workplace. And they want to have chickens and horses and...
You just described my dream.
And they want it for $90,000 and they don't want to pay more than $250 a month. So, and that's everything. Wow, we just went from 0 to 10.
It's like Black League all day, so we're like nothing. You're like, how did we get here?
That's grade school stuff over there. The markets are different, honestly. I mean, the majority of every one of my clients all want acreage. They don't want neighbors next to them. They don't want this. I mean, that's almost 100% across the board. I've been fortunate in my career that I haven't had that. I need a condo, I need an apartment, I need whatever. If they did, they wanted a multi-unit. And but farm, everybody wants the acreage, not necessarily the farm. But they want it all at a cheap price. But I think both markets are there. I tell you, we have so many great Americans here, luckily at Fort Bragg, that who travel with horses, and I don't know how they do it. Now it's been a lifelong long dream of mine is to have horses. But every time you turn around, they're asking for 5 acres plus with a barn and a house, but the problem is trying to find it for the right price. And right now it's really difficult just trying to find acreage, period, because there's so much demand for it, and the housing shortage. These builders are buying everything up and then dividing it into quarter-acre lots, and so.
So you say that farm is more desirable, but more having to settle for suburbs?
Yeah, at this point, my experience in my career so far is that a lot of them are settling for. Plus, they're also realizing that this is not their forever home, so they're looking for, they'll settle for a house in town and they'll wait for that cow or that horse or those chickens, or at least the ones that really want the farm life are willing to compromise and take less, but so for whatever they can get. But both markets are still there. Oh, this is the drop.
This is the last tab.
So
you don't have to do it if you don't want.
I cannot be outdone by a sauce. Mitcheal. Is that good?
Yeah, you're good.
This has been a lot of fun.
Fun.
Prost.
What was the hardest transaction you've ever worked?
I don't know. I may have to ask for help on that one. Mackenzie, what comes to mind?
Yeah, I heard her giggling in the back.
Construction house.
Huh?
New construction house.
Does that ring a bell?
No. Which one?
Well, without giving, names or address.
Do you remember? Or in general?
The one with. What do you have in mind?
I don't. I've had some fun ones that I thought I was going to lose my career on.
I would think those would have been the hardest.
Well, it's what you call getting in the rabbit hole. I was a baby realtor, and I was told at that time 2 things you don't want to mess with is foreclosures and foreclosed trailers.
Okay. So
what do I get right away? I get a damsel in distress with 3 kids and a less than desirable baby daddy. And we were looking at houses and for houses and for houses. This was an incredible woman period all the way around. And I went hard to find them a house because it was more about her and what she was doing to carry her husband and all this. And he was a truck driver and had some issues and wasn't able to go through with it. And she had these kids, and it's like I worked hard to try to make them happy and wanted to get her a place so she'd take care of those kids. Long story short, we ended up finding a foreclosed trailer in the middle of the woods, and if you name it, could go wrong, it went wrong. We went from the well is broken to trying to get the well fixed to finding out after 2 weeks of working on the well that it was on city water. and then to find out the septic tank was never had issues. I mean, this is just stuff you just learned as you went along. And then we get everything perfect, and there may or may not be this repair fairy that comes along. Things happen in foreclosed properties to get the deal done because you're not allowed to do anything to the property. But sometimes something happens. And we were getting ready to leave, and we were going to be closing on Monday, and so this is Friday, and all this good work had happened, all these fairy repairs had happened, and I told them, do not come back to the property. You're not allowed to be here unless I'm on it. And so fast forward, Saturday comes along and I get this call. And it says, are you Mitcheal Valle's license number, blah, 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 since you're 21? Yes, I am. But how can I help you? Well, I'm so-and-so, and you're not going to have a license by the end of the day. What happened? Well, I don't like having a shotgun shoved into my face. And what had happened was the client's spouse had learned the combination because we'd been there so much. He decided he was going to protect the property. So he was asleep inside in a sleeping bag. So when the guy came to the door, a regional inspector for these properties, it was, why are you in my house? And the guy, of course, the inspector's like, you don't own this house. And so from there, I really thought I was going to lose my license. But I had a great broken charge. Immediately got on it, went military on the guy real quick. Hey, look, I got him in here. He's at parade rest. He's getting all this corrective training. He's going to be taking this many CE hours. He's going to give these classes. I'll send you sign-in rosters. And then, thank God the inspector didn't push the issue. But that was me being being a cowboy, doing what I thought and not really, doing all the right things to really enforce that, make sure they didn't know the combination and making sure they were off the property and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that was probably my scariest property. Difficult was, I don't know, when you've been being shot at for most of your life, being, held up by a cloud on the title is not difficult. So it's just time consuming.
Yeah.
But it's all personality. Yeah.
What's the hardest sauce?
Hard or hot?
Hottest.
I don't know, it's been so many.
Yeah, which
The
one was
best
the hottest?
flavored one was this one.
Really?
This one was just nasty. Yeah, and I don't know, because we did these two pretty quick. If it camouflaged, maybe it came back around, I don't know. But the combination of all three of these actually leaves a decent taste in your mouth now.
You have a good taste in your mouth now?
Yeah, I could go back and finish this tray.
Hey.
I don't know about jumping back on this guy. But best flavor wise, I don't know. The one that made me talk the most was this guy here. I think I could see that on some stuff. I think it was that one. I don't know, let me try it again.
Go for it. All right,
Yeah.
well, I really appreciate you doing this with me. Shall we go?
I don't even want to play with this guy. He's just rude. He's just rude.